canoe slalom sport psychology is quite a big aspect, particularly the visualization aspect, where obviously we don't get any practice runs or that beforehand. We train on the water, we try and kind of guess as many moves as are likely to come to practice, but before you have your competition runs, you're straight into it. So we do a lot of visualization to kind of prepare for that and to try and get the feeling that you're going to get from the water. Before they would start any run, they would generally visualise that a couple of times in their head, visualising the run of the boat and what strokes they're putting in the positions they're putting in, try and get the feeling through their body of how the boat feels in the water. Trail the reverse back as you come into the gate, snap around and back onto the drive down. Coming out around the green, make sure there's plenty of space and you can really run it in deep into the back of the red. Drive it deep against the water.
With Neil, my coach, I would set a plan, and after that plan was set, I go through like it's almost memories in my head of what it felt like before and how I could make it better. Before I used to have to like think about it quite a lot and it wouldn't come to me very quickly, but now it's just from practice and looking at courses time after time. It's just, it's just natural now.
Every athlete that's been here today training does a significant amount of sports psychology at some level. Generally, once you start getting the athletes at a young age to start visualising, you generally see a big increase in their quality of training. And then obviously when the quality of training steps up, the quality of performances generally moves along quite swiftly as well.
I was at the Pan Celtic, which is a race between 4 nations, Scotland, England, Wales and Ireland, and I won the senior category.
Visualisation is incredibly important. It's almost, your mind really doesn't know the difference between doing the thing for real and imagining it. In terms of body movement, etc. You see many athletes actually not only visualising what they're doing, but actually they're out the movements in terms of what they're doing in any particular sport, and particularly with canoe slalom. Eventually from that, what we developed is actually putting split time doing visualisation. That taught us quite a lot, because I think it's very important to visualise it in real time. I think it's really right to have slow visualisation and then fast visualisation. The other thing that came from that is when you actually got an easy part of the course, you'll start to look for the easy time technically. So the intensity of visualisation and concentration for those easy parts of the course was still as intense as when it was difficult.
For about 15 years now, researchers have conducted research in canoe slalom. We call it chess on water because athletes have to rehearse and plan their moves. This is because they don't get to paddle the actual gate sequence they go down until the race run. What is interesting then is the psychological strategies they have to invoke include imagery or visualization. So there's 2 key effects with imagery that we know from over 100 years of science on the subject. So one effect is called mental practice, and that basically means by rehearsing a skill in your mind's eye, using your different senses through imagery, you enhance performance of that skill. And the second effect is something we've learned actually from the coaches. So this is what we call bottom-up knowledge. So coaches in canoe slalom since about 1978 have been asking athletes to rehearse the course in real time and timing their imagined runs as well as their race runs. And they found a congruent relationship between the two. So this is called the mental travel effect. And the funny thing is, scientists didn't study until about 1991. And we've studied since 1996, myself and Aidan Moore in Dublin. And we found out that the better level the athlete, the more accurate their visualization in terms of time. And it also has an expertise effect across other sport domains. So typically athletes that are really expert are able to visualize, whether it be a gymnastics routine, whether it be motorsport or equestrian or canoe slalom, they're able to visualize their actions in real time.
We've conducted surveys and interviews with athletes, and we've conducted lab-based studies. And in our lab-based studies, we found out correlations of up to 0.96, which is almost a perfect correlation for expert athletes between real and imagined time for their canoe slalom runs. And there's another interesting aspect about this. This is such a good measure of quality of imagery rather than the quality, that it can then be used to help other people visualize. For example, imagery is used in stroke rehabilitation. It's also used to help children who are recovering from some motor disorders. As recent as 2011, there's been a research paper which proposed a new way to measure motor imagery, which is the kind of kinesthetic movements that are involved in remembering action sequences. And this paper proposed that people use mental travel, or this imagery time measure, to look at the quality of imagery across all different participants, whether it be people recovering from stroke, whether it be athletes. So the key point about imagery or visualization is that it can help those beyond sport.